one and all. This is Professor Naveen Rathi from the Department of Electronics and Communication of IMT College of Engineering. I welcome you all for the today's session, which is basically an orientation session for all the students and the faculty members of IMT Group of Colleges, which is to be taken by our Innovation Ambassador. Let me introduce, first of all, with an introduction of the new education policies, which has been framed and which is putting a huge impact in promoting out-of-the-box thinking. Sorry for the interruption. So to achieve this goal, the role of teacher is highly significant. And the teachers should become mentors and guide these young minds in their pursuit of innovation and entrepreneurship. Thus, it becomes equally crucial for the mentors to have adequate mentoring skills. And with this aim, this Innovation Ambassador Program was conceptualized by Ministry of Education Innovation Cell and All India Council for Technical Education to train the teachers across the country who will nurture the young students on different aspects. To name a few, that is ideation, the IPR, product development, design thinking, problem solving, and critical thinking. And to lead in this IMT group of colleges, today we have on this platform a great motivator, a great inspirer, and leading from the front, that is none other than the President of Information and Institution Innovation Counseling Cell of IMT College of Engineering, Dr. Sanjay Pachori sir, who will be taking you forward for the today's session. I welcome you, sir, on this particular platform. Please address the students and the faculties.
Thank you, Professor Rathi, for a wide word of wisdoms. Before starting the session, I would like to fetch one of your quote, which you have quoted over here on the platform, that the role of the teachers. Of course, the role of the teachers is very much significant. And it is not known in today's scenario. This is actually the scenario by decades and the millions of years before, when we are very well known that there was a teacher, I'm not quoting the name of the teacher, who was insulted by a king, and he was very well known that he can't become the king, but he can become the king. So he identified a youth, trained them, the youth, and that youth, that particular young person, become the king and ruled over the India for a long period of time and started a new dynasty. This is actually the role of a teacher. That is very well said by you. In a similar way, in our today's session of the Innovation Ambassador, I would like to convey a few points. I would like to focus on my 7 points. The very first is MOE, previously MHRD, MOE Innovation Cell. Then I will focus on the IIC Council. Then what is the role of Innovation Ambassador? Then what is actually the innovation? Then IPRs, then startups and other facilities. So I would like to start with the role of the MOE Innovation Cell. MOE Innovation Cell is actually the vision of central government or the government of the country. Because nobody was thinking before March 2020 what will be our vision and mission of the country. For few there might be, but the very clear vision was found after this global pandemic. If we are not self-sustainable, we can't sustain or we will not in the global map. It might be a critical problem. It might be the situation of few countries which we are very well known in this current scenario, in few days back scenario. So the very clear vision and the very clear guidelines and the very clear statement given by the forum from the Prime Minister of India that India should become self-sustainable. So he gave a slogan, Make in India, to maintain or to sustain over this Make in India slogan. What actually the thinking behind that? Actually, the thinking behind that was to utilize the manpower or to the brain of Indian youth. Let us take an example to consider what is actually the power of the youth brain in our country. Suppose I'm not quoting these particular figures. Suppose in our entire country, there are only 5,000 engineering colleges, and each of them is having only 6 engineering branches with the intake of 60 students each. It means we are having 360 seats in each engineering college, right? By these 360 seats in each engineering college, and if we are having the 5,000 engineering college, so we are having 18 lakh seats in our country for the engineering only. 18 lakh seats. And each and every student has to perform minimum 45 days training, industrial training, in which they have to go through the project. So 45 days multiplied by 18 lakh, that is somewhere around 81 lakh days. And if a particular student is working for 8 hours only in a day, then it is 2 crore 43 lakh hours training. It means they are devoting these many hours manpower to develop a particular project. But there is a great question mark over here. Are we getting the output of 2 crore 43 lakh hours spent by these youths who are engineering youth? And are we getting the product after spending these many hours? There is a question mark. So, to remove this question mark, our Ministry of Education started these things that are students of the engineering college or any of the students, if they are having certain ideas and they can work on that, we are ready to provide the environment to work on these ideas and get out the product. So IC Council of India, IC Council of AICT, IC Council of Government of Ministry of Education, they are very well planned all of these things and started a mission to convert our youth's brain into an entrepreneurship. They should not be a job seeker, they should be a job provider. So they started all of these. So they started a new education policy, as very well stated by Dr. Naveen Rathi. And the role of the innovation ambassador, the role given to innovation ambassador to circulate or to spread this information to each and every student, so that if they are having any of the idea and they convert it into a particular product, or they can start a particular business, they should go towards that route, not to the route as a job seeker. So if I want to conclude all of these things, a very basic question is over here. What is actually the question? Question, so what actually the innovation is? And if innovation is not over there, then how can these students can start their startups? Or how can they become an entrepreneur? So in our new education policy, which is just not 100% implemented, will take, but it will be implemented later or sooner. Each and every student of colleges, at least in the engineering college, they have to go to a particular training session or training program or through the projects by the very first year. And when a particular student after 10 plus 2, when getting an admission into the very first year of an engineering college, and he's going to perform a particular project for a certain period of time, later or sooner, he or she will have certain ideas in mind. And if the ideas are there and the institute is readily available, or all the institutes are readily available to convert their ideas into the product, they have to provide a certain environment. In that particular environment will be provided by the college, and the particular guidelines and the particular training and the required skills. The student will be converted into a product. It means all of these ideas which the students are having will be in the form of a product. And when a product is there, that particular product will be taken into the evaluation and it will be marketable. And if the product is marketable, nobody will want to go through a job. They will want to go through a business. If they are willing to do so, they will become an entrepreneur instead of going to a job. And if they are doing this, all of these things very well, they can provide n number of jobs instead of taking a single seat as a job in any other company. So the innovation is somewhere. I can divide this innovation in two parts. Number one, very first innovation is you are having a very new idea, which is not over there. That is, you or that particular idea you want to develop. That is a new thing, which is not available into the market. And the second innovation is techno-economic items which are readily available into the market, but you are working or you want to work over that item to make them techno-economic. Something like a particular tube light. Minimum cost of a tube light nowadays is approximately 300 rupees. And somewhere if you are able to develop a particular tube light into 150 rupees, that is techno-economical. That is again a new innovation. Innovations are two things. Either it is a techno-economic, or second, it is which is not available into the market nowadays. If you are having an idea and you have converted your idea and you want to convert that particular your idea into a business, what you have to protect? You have to protect your intellectual property because that idea was generated by you. So you have to protect your idea through IPR, through patent file, through intellectual property right. As I have put it few minutes back, that you have developed a particular like what is 150 instead of 300, which is available into the market. You have to get patent for your that particular tube which you are going to sell in rupees 150 after deducting all of the expenses, and you are getting a good return. If you are not protecting your this particular intellectual property within time frame, and it might be stolen by someone else, then you will be nowhere. So it is very clearly mentioned then when a particular innovation starts, whenever you are having a very good idea, just patent your idea, work on that, convert into the prototype, then convert into the particular product. And when the product is developed, then again you have to go through an IPR for the product and launch the product. Whenever, so if I'm considering this particular position, that your intellectual properties are safe with you, then you may think about the start. Because what happened? You had gone through the intellectual property. You have, as you have registered your idea to the IPR, then you had worked a lot, converted your idea into the prototype, then a product. After product, you have again gone through the IPR as per the rules and regulations and launch your startup. As you have launched your startup, you will get so many benefits. And the benefits are already announced by the government of India for the startups. You will be exempted by the taxes and all of these things. As well as government of India will help you out. And there are so many financial institutions are there which will help you out to establish your startup. So many agencies are over there who can market your product, and they will send your product in such an area where you are not approachable. In initial years, it might happen that you may face problems, but थक के हार जाना ये आदत नहीं हमारी. In our Indian scenario, our soldiers who are on a battleground, and if they are not in the position to fight, even that their soul is so strong, they can fight to any other. So we can't get, or we are not in that particular position so that we can digest it very easily. That we will not, we are not able to go in this way, or we are not able to move on this track where a defeat might be there. Because we can face any of the challenges. It is in our Indian blood. So whenever we will face the problems of the startups, there are a lot of agencies, there are a lot of things, lot of counselors, lot of advisors are over there who can advise. Even as a college, we can advise how you have to proceed to get success instead of a failure. How we can do all of these things. These are actually the startups. So whenever these startups are started, as I'm very well known, a few names of the startups like Uber, Ola, Zomato, what actually they were Cars 24, what actually they were. Initially, they were the startups, but now what they are multi-millionaire companies right now because they worked a lot. They know what actually a particular person needs, the requirements. We have to understand. We have to get a survey from the market. What actually the consumer wants. What is the need of the consumer? Because it is found that we are not taking care of the basic things. Lot of us are thinking directly jump to the Mars. But it is not fact. Nobody can jump directly to the Mars. We have to start step by step. So each and every startup has to go step by step. Whenever we will go step by step, definitely make sure success is yours. So the facilities which we can provide as a college, I can announce or I can elaborate to what facilities actually the as a college, IMT College of Engineering can provide to each and every startup. We can provide them space. We can provide your co-working space for your employees. We can provide you the use of our machineries. We can provide you our highly qualified faculty and trainers. We can provide you basic amenities like water, electricity, internet, and all of these things for meeting rooms. And if you want to perform a particular meeting with any of the company, we are having so many meeting rooms for you. And all of these things will be free of cost for next 2 years at least. So that all of these startups will fresh. If you are flourishing, we are getting the name at free. And you are getting so many things. IMT is going to establish few industries within the campus for helping out these type of startups because they can't afford highly high-end industrial setup, industrial sizes machines. IMT is going to establish an industry within the campus only. And all of these startups can use these machines free of cost with the advisors from the industries who will help them out to perform their job, to perform their product, to perform their task and get out the market. These are actually the things which we can provide in today's life. This is from all my end. Now, I would like to call Dr. Naveen Rathi. If is there any query or any question or anything which our listeners want to know, I would like to explain. Dr. Naveen Rathi, are there any questions from?
Actually, sir, this is going live on the YouTube. There will be many questions. I'll be forwarding you through the mail, and you can revert back with all the queries. I'd like to thank you for briefly explaining the idea behind this Innovation Ambassador Program and how it can be successfully implemented and can help our students in getting involved in creating the jobs rather than searching for the jobs. And I really feel honored and blessed to have a leader like you with such a aim that you are coming up with an industry in the institute itself, and with the industry experts directly getting in touch with the students. It will definitely nourish their talents and definitely help in building the economy of the nation, because this will successfully lead us to Atmanirbhar Bharat also. And I'm really thankful, sir. I think that the entire orientation session was neatly being explained and fully being justified by the theme which was being today, that is the orientation session. And I think all the students and the faculty fraternity will be benefiting out of it. So I'm really happy and I'm really thankful to you for sparing your valuable time. I know you are very busy person because of the so many activities you are being involved into in implementation of this innovation ambassador strategies and programs in the institutes and the nearby institutions also. Thank you, sir. Thank you a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Naveen. It is very true that I will definitely support all of these queries and I will revert it back.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, sir.
Thank you.